President, I rise today. I've done this several times since I've been here in the Senate. Always an honor to do it. And when something is that important, I think it's worth repeating. I'm rising today to offer a resolution expressing support for the Pledge of Allegiance as an expression of patriotism in honoring the 247th anniversary of the introduction of our United States flag. Tomorrow we celebrate Flag Day, which was established over 100 years ago by President Woodrow Wilson. As we pause to recognize all that our flag represents, let us also honor those who have sacrificed everything to defend it. In 2002, Senator Tom Daschle raised a similar resolution with unanimous support from the Senate. It passed on the floor uneventfully. Today, I ask this body to reaffirm our support for the Pledge of Allegiance. Also, bringing into account somebody from Indiana, Red Skelton. In '69, the American entertainer who was well known for his program, the Red Skelton Hour, wrote a speech on the importance of the pledge. Reflecting on his time in Vincennes, Indiana, he spoke about the values instilled by one of his high school teachers. After the performance of the speech, CBS received 200,000 requests for copies. I wonder if that would occur in this day and age. This speech would go on to be sold as a single by Columbia Records and performed at the White House for President Nixon. I think it would honor Mr. Skelton's memory and the importance of the Pledge of Allegiance if it were recited again today on the Senate floor, like I've done several times since I've been here. Red Skelton. When I was a small boy in Vincennes, Indiana, I heard, I think, one of the most outstanding speeches I ever heard in my life. I think it compares with the Sermon on the Mount, Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, Socrates' speech to the students. We had just finished reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, and Mr. Laswell, the principal of Vincennes High School, called us all together. He said, "Boys and girls, I've been listening to you recite the Pledge of Allegiance all semester, and it seems that it's become a little monotonous to you. Or could it be you do not understand the meaning of each word? I would like to recite the pledge and give you a definition of each word. I, me, an individual, a committee of one, pledge, dedicate all of my worldly good to give without self-pity. Allegiance, my love and devotion. To the flag, our standard, Old Glory, a symbol of courage, and wherever she waves, there is respect. Because your loyalty has been given her a dignity that shouts, freedom is everybody's job. Of the united, that means we all have come together, states, individual communities that have united into 48 great states, 48 because of when it was done, 48 individual communities with pride and dignity and purpose, all divided by imaginary boundaries, yet united to a common cause, and that's love of country, of America, and to the republic, a sovereign state in which power is invested into the representatives chosen by the people to govern, and the government is of the people, and it's from the people to the leaders, not from the leaders to the people, for which it stands, one nation, meaning so blessed by God, indivisible, incapable of being divided, with liberty, which is freedom, the right of power for one to live his own life without fears, threats, or any sort of retaliation, and justice, the principle and qualities of dealing fairly with others. For all. For all, that means boys and girls. It's as much your country as it is mine. Afterwards, Mr. Laswell asked his students to recite the Pledge of Allegiance together with newfound appreciation for the words. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Red Skelton concluded his speech by saying, "Since I was a small boy, 2 states have been added to our country and 2 words have been added to the Pledge of Allegiance, under God." Wouldn't it be a pity if someone said that is a prayer and it should be eliminated from our schools as well? Just as those students that day, Mr. Red Skelton included, recommitted to the meaning of the words of the Pledge of Allegiance, I call upon the United States Senate to recommit to the meaning of these words. There are times today that the words of the Pledge of Allegiance are tossed around without care. Other times they are altered to remove what today is deemed offensive or antiquated. But Americans should not misuse or abuse our Pledge of Allegiance. The pledge is meant to remind Americans of our guiding principles and inspire adherence to those ideas that made our country great. Equality under the law, recognized rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is why, in honor of Flag Day tomorrow, I am requesting unanimous consent from my colleagues that my resolution expressing support of the Pledge of Allegiance is passed. Mr. President, as if in legislative session and notwithstanding Rule 22, I ask unanimous consent the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of Senate Resolution 732, which is at the desk. Further, that resolution be agreed to, the preamble be agreed to, and that the motions to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table with no intervening action or debate.
Is there objection? Without objection.